Surprised by the route. Let's see what these guys have to say.
Is anyone shocked by how dominant Philly was?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I certainly thought they had a good chance to win the game. I thought there was virtually no chance of a blowout. I mean, Nick may know it off the top of his head. They don't get blown out. When's the last time?
Mahomes been blown out 5 times. Forget blown out. Mahomes has been. The Chiefs have been beaten by more than 8 points 5 times in Mahomes' entire career.
So
and twice in the last 3 years.
That's where it's hard for me to imagine. But here's what I'll say. All right, here's the thing. What shocked me the most was Philly's dominance, the defensive line versus the Chiefs' offensive line. We know they had 6 sacks with just rushing 4 and no blitzes. Mm-hmm. They only have 41 sacks this year as a team. That's 15th in the league. Remember last year, this is what I thought would happen because Baltimore was the physical team last year. Remember I famously talked about they want to fight, they're not the breakdance. Like they were so physical last year. They had 60 sacks last year. They played Kansas City AFC Championship game, and Kansas City was, I thought, more physical and tougher. And so I was stunned that Philadelphia just manhandled their front line so badly. So to me, that obviously I was surprised Mahomes didn't play well, but what happened up front was the most shocking thing to me in that game.
Greg, were you shocked?
Look, I was shocked. I'm not going to sit here and act like I wasn't shocked. But once they start putting them gloves on and start throwing them punches, it was like one after the other. Okay. I mean, they kept coming, Nick. They kept coming. And at some point,
I get it. Greg's a pro athlete, so I trust
and
his facial awareness.
At some point, I know the Chiefs were like, okay, is it gonna slow down? No, it's still coming. It's still coming. Like when their defense took the field, and this is what was so impressive. They literally looked like, I'm trying to be the first one to Patrick Mahomes. You gonna beat me? You gonna beat me? You better hurry up because I'm coming. It was nothing that the Chiefs could do. And so what was probably more shocking was that it was nothing that they could do. They didn't even have to come with an uppercut. They didn't have to dodge. They didn't have to duck anything. It was just 1, 2, 3, 4, we gonna come after y'all. And let's see what y'all do. And you can't handle it.
It was the first non-divisional game all year that I felt like the other team wasn't at a huge psychological disadvantage.
100%.
So, like, you always bring up that the Chiefs squeaked past the Raiders, the Broncos, the Chargers, those 3 games all by 2 points. I've always dismissed it, and I will continue to dismiss it because they're also the only team to go undefeated in the division. Most teams don't squeak past them, they just lose some of them. Divisional teams play you too much to be, like, intimidated by you, so to speak. Buffalo, I almost feel like is a divisional opponent because they play the Chiefs at least once and really twice every year at this point, so it's similar to it. Everyone else comes into a game against the Chiefs, and the Bills, when the playoffs start, do as well, and they press or they feel like we can't afford a mistake or that OPI call early on would have sent them off the rails, like whatever. Philly had none of it. None of it. And that's where, and we'll get to Sirianni in a bit, he deserves credit. It's where I gave Jalen credit earlier. And from a schematic standpoint, man, this was Vic Fangio's, this is the word I was looking for earlier, masterpiece. Truly. And so that D-line, Jalen Carter is a great player. Everyone else on that D-line are just good players. They don't, you know what I mean? They might turn into great players, but they don't have dominant all-pros across that D-line, but they did last night. And I understand the Chiefs had their guard playing tackle, but that's what they've been doing for the last 5 games and playing their best football doing it. That was a masterpiece performance by them defensively. And offensively, the Chiefs kind of dared Jalen to pass because they put so much up against Saquon, and he answered the bell time and again. I am a 100. You know, the only people who aren't shocked, it's so weird, are Philly fans.
Yeah.
It's not just Cab.
Yeah.
All Super Bowl week, no one in the media was calling blowout. the fans were like, "We're gonna blow you out."
That's what my buddy said too.
And again,
He wasn't trying to be like Philly bravado. It was like, no, our line is too good.
That's what, and so they whatever. Maybe it was dumb luck that they called it, or maybe they saw something no one in the media did. But the Philly fans that I was seeing all week, that I had the same line to all week, and God, they have sent it back to me a lot, which was, "I hope you really enjoy tonight because tomorrow is going to be the worst night of your life," which was Saturday. Turned out being the opposite as it was. They were like, "No, I think we can beat you guys by a lot." And my answer was, but the Chiefs never get beaten by a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're never not in the game, but they weren't in this game.
And
Yeah, I am. It's kind of like the election where I should have saw it coming, and I'm just surprised that it happened, like it went down the way it did. It was a blowout. It was a big time blowout, and shout out to the Eagles' defensive line. They played the game of their lives. Like they said in this clip, they're like ranked 15th in the NFL in sacks. So it's not like they are a deadly defensive line that teams fear. They're just middle of the road. They're average. So I'm trying to figure out if Philly's defensive line is underrated or if the Chiefs' offensive line is just that bad. And I'm leaning towards the latter. Their offensive line has been kind of bad this year. And like Nick said, they had a tackle playing guard at some point throughout this season, and it caught up to them in the biggest game of the year. It caught up to them. And the blueprint is out how to beat the Chiefs. I mean, it's been out. You have to get the pass rush. You look at the Chargers and what they've done with their defensive line, that specifically to beat the Chiefs, and they just haven't been able to do it. Broncos have a solid pass rushing line now, and they're only going to get better. So we'll see. We'll see how next year goes. The Chiefs looked beatable throughout the year. They still made it to the Super Bowl. Is this game the blueprint on how to stop them? Will the Chiefs have a Super Bowl hangover? That's kind of what I'm a lot more curious to see. They made it 3 times in a row. They get blown out in the third one. Will they have a Super Bowl hangover and be one of those teams who just misses the playoffs next year? I don't think that's going to be the case, but it's possible. It's very possible. They're going to be another year older. Kelsey is going to be that much older. He seems to be paying more attention to stuff outside of football now than football, with his podcasts and stuff and his relationship. I know all players have relationships, but I mean, he's got other stuff going on in addition to that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It's going to be an interesting offseason. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Were you surprised to see Philadelphia destroy the Chiefs the way they did? Or are you a Flyers? Are you an Eagles fan, and did you expect that outcome? I thought it was going to be a game. I thought it could go either way. I never thought it was going to be a blowout, so I'm surprised. I'm not surprised that Philly won. I'm just surprised how they won. It doesn't surprise me at all that they won. I thought for sure they had a chance to win this game. Just like I thought Buffalo had a chance to beat Kansas City last week. Or 2 weeks ago now. Alright, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Peace!